When the final trumpet breaks the silence, no one knows the date, no angel, no prophet, not even Jibril, only Allah. But the Quran declares one thing with absolute certainty: the day will arrive suddenly, so sudden that the world won't even get a moment to take a breath. Imagine this: a normal morning, people rushing to work, children laughing on their way to school, markets alive, phones ringing, deals being made, life moving exactly as it always has, busy, loud, full of distractions. And then, the trumpet, a sound unlike anything the universe has ever heard. The Quran says it will strike their hearts with terror so deep that mountains will shatter like dust, the skies will tear open, the oceans will explode, every structure built by human pride will collapse to its knees. The Prophet said the trumpet will be blown by the angel Israfil, who right now at this very moment is standing with the horn pressed to his lips, eyes fixed on the throne of Allah, waiting for the command. He hasn't blinked for thousands of years, fearing he might miss the divine signal. When that sound is released, everything ends. Birds will fall mid-flight. The earth will convulse under every foot that ever walked it. The arrogant, the powerful, the wealthy, everyone will realize that no one owns anything today. No ruler, no government, no military can stop the decree of Allah. Humanity will be frozen in shock, staring at a world breaking apart. But the Quran says they will not be given time to escape, not even a second. And then is silence. A silence so heavy that it feels like the universe is holding its breath. Because the first trumpet destroys life, the second trumpet brings it back. Every soul from Adam to the last human will rise. The ground will open, bodies restored, and people will look around in confusion as they stand on a flat, endless plain. No buildings, no trees, no places to hide. Just billions of souls facing one undeniable reality. The day they were promised has begun. This is only the beginning. The awakening, rising from the graves. The second trumpet echoes across a dead universe, and suddenly every silent grave becomes a doorway. The Quran describes this moment with a scene so powerful that no imagination can fully capture it. Humans rising as if responding to a call, stunned, confused, terrified. The earth, which once swallowed bodies, now throws them out effortlessly. People look at their hands, their skin, their bodies perfectly restored. No illness, no disability, no age. The same bodies they lived with, but recreated for a day that will last 50,000 years. And then comes the shock. Everyone stands barefoot, uncircumcised, without a single piece of clothing. The Prophet said even the greatest saints and prophets will stand this way. But the fear of the day will be so overwhelming that no one will even look at each other. Shame disappears because terror takes its place. The plain of resurrection is unlike any place on earth. Flat, endless, no shade, no water, no mountains, no structures, nothing to sit on, nothing to lean against. Just an ocean of humanity stretching farther than sight can reach. And in that crowd, everyone recognizes the truth. The atheist who denied God, the criminal who thought he escaped justice, the corrupt who laughed at the weak, the believers who stayed patient, the martyrs, the prophets, the sinners, the tyrants, all standing together. No status, no wealth, no nationality, No gender difference, no followers, no fans, no power, just souls. And then the panic begins. People start running nowhere, looking at nothing, because there is nowhere to run and nothing that can save them. Mothers will drop their children. Fathers will forget their families. Brothers will abandon their brothers. Each soul screaming one silent truth. Myself, myself, myself. Even the prophets will say it. Every prophet except one. People will rush to Adam, begging him to intercede. Adam will say, "My Lord is angry today like never before. Nafsi, Nafsi." Then they will run to Noah, then Ibrahim, then Musa, then Isa. Every one of them will step back in fear until the entire creation turns to the final messenger, Muhammad, and hope, for the first time on this terrifying day, begins to rise. The only hope when humanity runs to Muhammad. The plane of resurrection trembles under the weight of billions. Fear has reached its peak. Every soul is desperate, terrified, and drowning in the realization that judgment is real and it has finally arrived. Humanity runs from prophet to prophet, but every door closes with the same trembling words. My Lord is angry today like never before. Myself, myself. Then, for the first time on this day, a whisper spreads through the endless crowd. Go to Muhammad, go to Muhammad, go to the final messenger. A wave of humanity moves, pushing through the plain, rushing toward the one man whose life was mercy, whose message was mercy, whose heart beat with mercy. And when they reach him, they fall, they cry, they tremble. O Muhammad, O Messenger of Allah, intercede for us. Ask your Lord to begin the judgment. The Prophet does not turn away. He does not step back. He does not say myself. This is his moment, the moment he was promised, the moment no other messenger was given. He walks forward alone. He approaches the throne of Allah, and he falls into prostration. The greatest, deepest, longest prostration in human history. And in that position, Allah inspires him with praises that no human has ever said, before words of glory that belong only to the Prophet on this day. And then a voice shakes the entire plain. O Muhammad, raise your head. Ask, and you will be given. Intercede, and your intercession will be accepted. Every soul freezes. The Prophet lifts his head and speaks the words humanity has been begging to hear. My Lord, begin the reckoning. For the first time since the trumpet was blown, hope rises. But that hope is immediately swallowed by fear again, because the judgment is not just beginning. It is beginning now. The Qur'an describes the terror of this moment. Every nation will be called forward. Every prophet will stand as a witness. Every soul will walk toward record its deeds, its secrets, its sins, its prayers, its patience, its betrayals, everything. And the angels will begin bringing forth the first group to be judged. Their legs will tremble, their hearts will shake, because they know there is no lawyer, no bribe, no escape, only truth. The unveiling of deeds, when no secret remains hidden. The judgment has begun. The world is gone. The mountains are gone. Time itself feels frozen. But the truth is finally unlocked. The angels step forward, carrying records, not books made of paper, but documents written by divine command. capturing every heartbeat of a human life, every glance, every word, every intention, every act done in darkness, every charity done silently, every sin committed proudly. Nothing is missing. The Quran says it clearly. This book leaves nothing small or great except that it has recorded it. The first soul is called. He walks forward with legs that feel like they might collapse at any moment. The entire creation watches as he approaches Allah, and the book of deeds is placed in his hand. Some will receive it in their right hand gladly, joyfully, relieved. Others, in their left hand, behind their back humiliated, defeated, trembling. And then comes the moment everyone feared, the reading of their own life. Angels read, the skies listen, creation hears. A man who once laughed at the weak will hear his cruelty echo. A tyrant who abused his power will finally face those he oppressed. A liar will see every deception appear like a burning stain on his record. A believer who prayed in secret, who cried in sujud, who forgave people even when hurt will see those moments shine like stars. Some will deny their sins. Some will argue. Some will swear they never committed the crime. But Allah will seal their mouths, and their own limbs will speak. Their hands testify, He made me do it. Their feet testify, I walked where He commanded. Their skin, their hearing, their sight all speak with crystal clarity. There is no hiding, no excuses, no second chances. Even the earth testifies, recounting every step taken, every night spent, every action done upon it. Then comes a scene so terrifying that even the angels lower their wings. People begin to realize that their most private sins, the ones they thought no eye ever witnessed, are written with absolute precision. Hearts explode with regret. Souls scream in silence. The arrogance of dunya melts into dust. But for some, this day is not terror. For some, it is honor. The Prophet said that Allah will hide the sins of certain believers, cover them completely, and whisper to them privately, I concealed your sins in the world, and today I forgive them. Those words will be worth more than the universe. And now, as the records continue to unfold, the next phase of judgment awaits. The weighing of deeds, scales of justice, when every atom is measured. The records have been revealed. The secrets are out. Every soul now stands exposed before Allah. But the judgment is not complete. Not until the next moment arrives. The mizan, the scale, the balance of deeds, an object unlike anything in the universe, massive, majestic, terrifying, brought forward by angels, whose presence makes the entire plane tremble. This is the scale that will decide eternity, and it is perfectly fair. The Quran declares, we will set up the scales of justice for the day of judgment. Not a single soul will be wronged. The angels call the first person. His deeds, both seen and unseen, are placed onto the scale. A lifetime of decisions, every prayer, every glance, every insult, every sigh of patience, every charity, every sin, everything carries weight. Even an atom, even a smile, even a moment of anger held back. For some, the right side rises with light so bright that it fills the horizon. Their prayers, their kindness, their forgiveness, their hidden worship, it all tips the scale instantly. These people breathe for the first time since rising from their graves. Relief washes through them like a wave. Their eyes fill with tears not of fear, but of gratitude. But others watch in horror as their right side remains light. Too light, because their life was full of excuses, full of desires, full of arrogance, full of ignored opportunities to do good. And when their sins are placed, the left side slams down with terrifying force. Some scream, some collapse, some try to deny, but the scale does not lie. Then comes a moment that shocks even the angels. A simple word, a dua, a tear, a moment of sincere tawbah outweighs years of sins, because Allah measures sincerity, not size. Prophet Muhammad said, "A heavy word on the scale is La ilaha illa Allah." One phrase when truly meant carries more weight than mountains of darkness. Another group approaches the scale trembling, ashamed, expecting their sins to crush them. But suddenly, a single good deed they forgot about tips the balance. Maybe they fed an orphan. Maybe they forgave someone who hurt them. Maybe they prayed once with a heart full of sincerity. Maybe they protected someone's dignity. Allah magnifies that one deed. But the most terrifying scene is of those whose scales remain empty on the right side, not because they didn't have good deeds, but because they destroyed them through backbiting, oppression, mocking, cheating, and hurting others. Their victims take their good deeds one by one, until nothing remains. And now, the next stage awaits a trial more terrifying than the scales. Crossing the Sirat, the bridge over hell. The Sirat, the bridge sharper than a sword, thinner than a hair. The scales have spoken. Deeds have been weighed. But the judgment is not finished, because every soul, righteous or sinful, must now face the most terrifying passage in existence. The Sirat, a bridge stretched directly over the blazing depths of hell. A bridge so thin the Prophet described it as finer than a hair and sharper than a sword. Imagine billions standing before a structure they can barely comprehend. Beneath it, Jahannam roars like a living creature screaming, boiling, raging with a fury that shakes the entire plain. Its flames reach upward like claws ready to drag down anyone who slips. The angels stand along the bridge, silent, witnessing the destiny of humanity. Then Allah commands, "Cross," and the journey begins. The believers, those whose hearts were attached to Allah, whose deeds carried sincerity, move with a speed that shocks the creation. Some cross like lightning, some like the wind, some like galloping horses, some like a running man, some walking, some crawling on hands and knees. Their speed is exactly according to the weight of their faith and their deeds. Beneath them, hell erupts, snatching, grabbing, pulling, dragging. Hooks made of fire rise from below, commanded to seize those who lived double lives, those who pretended to be righteous, those whose secret sins outweighed their public good. The Prophet described these hooks as sharp like the thorns of Sodom, except unimaginable in size and darkness. Some are scratched, some are wounded, some fall, screaming, pulled into the flaming abyss. Those who fall do not fall quietly. The angels hear their cries. The sinners feel the scorching fire wrapping around them like chains. But then there are the chosen ones, the believers who spent their nights in prayer, the people who forgave even when hurt, those who fed the poor, protected the weak, spoke truth even when lonely. Those who kept their hearts clean, light shines from their bodies and rushes ahead of them, illuminating the path. They walk with safety, protected by Allah's mercy. A group stands at the end of the bridge, trembling, sweating, exhausted beyond words but grateful, relieved, falling in sujud once again. And then comes a scene that freezes the entire bridge. Believers begin searching for their loved ones. Where is my brother? Where is my friend? Where is my mother? Where is my son? They refuse to enter paradise without them. And Allah, in His infinite mercy, will allow believers to intercede, pulling out those who still have even a mustard seed of faith. But the journey is not over, because next comes the place where every hidden pain, every old wound, and every unresolved injustice must be settled. The Qantara, the final purification before paradise. The Qantara, the valley where hearts are cleansed. They have crossed the Sirat, shaken, exhausted, trembling but alive. Ahead lies paradise, visible like a distant glow, calling them with a beauty that no eye has ever seen. But Allah does not allow a single believer to enter Jannah carrying anger, wounds, grudges, or unresolved pain. And so they arrive at the final station, the Qantara, the bridge of settling matters, a valley unlike anything on earth, silent, still, a place built for the purification of hearts. Here, believers who wronged each other through words, actions, betrayal, or injustice will stand face to face, not with hatred, but with a deep realization that this is the last barrier between them and eternal bliss. Imagine it. To people who once argued, to friends who once hurt each other, a husband and wife who carried wounds, a business partner who cheated, a brother who lied, a neighbor who gossiped. Everything comes forward, every word, every wound, every moment of hurt that was never healed in the world. Allah will give each person the right to reclaim justice not through punishment, but through the exchange of deeds. The oppressed will take good deeds from the oppressor, and if the oppressor runs out of good deeds, the sins of the oppressed will be placed on him. But then something miraculous happens. Hearts begin to soften. Believers realize that Jannah is just a breath away. They look at each other not with the eyes of dunya but with the purified vision of the hereafter. They see their fellow Muslims standing there, trembling, terrified, desperate to enter paradise. Mercy rises inside them. The Prophet said, until when they are cleansed and purified, they will be permitted to enter paradise. This is the moment the heart transforms. Forgiveness blossoms where wounds once existed. Love replaces bitterness. Understanding replaces anger. The believers begin to say, "My Lord, I forgive him. My Lord, I do not want to harm him. My Lord, let us enter together." And Allah in His infinite mercy removes every trace of hatred from their hearts. The Qur'an describes this scene beautifully. We will remove whatever bitterness was in their hearts. Imagine the feeling. Your chest becomes lighter than air. Your heart becomes pure. Your soul feels new. Every scar vanishes. Every memory of hurt dissolves. And with hearts cleansed completely, the believers turn their faces toward the gates of paradise. Their eyes widen, their breath stops, their hearts race. Because now, after the earth, the grave, resurrection, judgment, scales, Sirat, and Qantara, They are finally standing before the gates of Jannah. The gates of Jannah, when eternity opens its doors. The believers stand together purified, forgiven, hearts softer than silk, lighter than air. The trials are over. The fear has faded. The pain of dunya has melted away like frost under the sun. And now, they face a sight that steals their breath. The gates of Jannah, massive, majestic, radiant beyond imagination. Their light pours out like waves of pure peace, washing over every tired soul. Angels fill the horizon smiling, welcoming, honoring. Their voices echo with warmth. Peace be upon you. You have done well. Enter, forever and forever. The believers freeze in awe. These are the gates described in the Qur'an, gates wider than the distance between east and west. Gates carved with beauty no human language can capture. Gates that have never opened for anyone unworthy. And then the moment arrives. The gates begin to move. Slowly, powerfully, gloriously. The sound of their opening fills the heavens like thunder made of light. Angels shout takbir. The believers' hearts tremble. Tears stream down their faces, not from fear anymore, but from the overwhelming joy that they made it. By Allah's mercy, the first person to enter Jannah is Prophet Muhammad. He steps forward, and the gates open wider in honor of him. The fragrance of paradise rushes out so sweet, so powerful, that the entire crowd feels their souls lift. Now the angels call out, "Where are the patient ones? People who endured illness, loss, heartbreak, hunger, loneliness but held on to Allah. Where are the truthful? Those who were honest even when it cost them. Where are the martyrs? Those who gave their lives in the path of truth. Where are the repentant? Those who sinned again and again, but always returned to Allah." Each group steps forward with honor. Their faces shine like stars, their books in their right hands, their hearts overflowing with gratitude. Then an angel announces a promise that makes every believer smile with relief. You will never be sad again. Imagine hearing that after a lifetime of pain. No fear, no stress, no debt, no sickness, no heartbreak, no betrayal, no loneliness, just pure peace. As the believers walk through the gates, the ground beneath their feet becomes silk. Rivers of milk, honey, and crystal clear water flow beside them. The air itself feels alive, fragrant, gentle, calming. And then they hear it. The greatest sound Jannah has to offer. Better than music, better than laughter, better than the rustling trees. The voice of Allah calling them. Peace be upon you, my servants. Their souls melt from joy. But the journey isn't over, because now comes the moment every believer dreamed of. Entering their personal paradise crafted by Allah, designed for them alone. The eternal home, when every wish becomes reality. The believers walk deeper into Jannah, step by step, breath by breath, until they reach something that stuns them into silence. Their own home, their personal paradise, designed by Allah, built by angels, customized to their heart. Every believer receives a palace, not an apartment. Not a house, a palace that stretches farther than the imagination can travel. Its walls shine like pearl and gold. Its bricks glow like precious gems. Its gardens stretch miles across, filled with colors the dunya never knew existed. The angels stand at the entrance, smiling the warmest. gentlest smile a soul has ever seen. They say the words that erase the memory of every hardship. This is your home. Forever, the believer steps in. Instantly, peace wraps around the heart like a gentle embrace. The air is fragrant, not with perfume, but with the scent of paradise itself. A fragrance so pure that one breath feels like a lifetime of healing. Inside the palace, rivers flow not on the ground but beneath the rooms. Flowing water that never smells, never stagnates, never dries. Each river connected to springs that Allah created for this soul alone. The cushions are soft, elevated, woven with threads of gold. The chairs feel like clouds. The beds shimmer like moonlight. And then, a miracle. Whatever the believer thinks of appears. Fruit that floats to your hand. Drinks that sparkle like diamonds. Food that tastes better with every bite. Birds that fly near you. Singing melodies that heal the heart. Trees whose branches are so heavy with blessings that their shade stretches miles. And then come the companions. Spouses who reflect pure beauty. Children who glow with innocence. Loved ones who were promised reunion. Friends who walked the path of faith with you. They meet you with smiles that feel like home. Laughter fills the gardens. Light fills the air. Joy fills every corner. And while the believer enjoys all this, angels continue to visit again and again, bringing gifts, greetings, and reminders that Allah is pleased with them. Then comes the moment that shakes the soul with awe. An angel says, "Your Lord wishes to meet you." The heart stops. The breath freezes. The soul trembles. Because the greatest moment in paradise is not the palace, not the rivers, not the gardens, not the eternal youth, not the endless blessings. It is the meeting with Allah, and that moment is the greatest reward when the believers see their Lord. Paradise is filled with joy. Laughter echoes. Hearts are healed. Worries are forgotten. Pain becomes a memory so distant it feels unreal. But something even greater is about to happen. Something that makes every blessing of Jannah feel small in comparison. An angel calls out across the eternal gardens, "O people of paradise, your Lord invites you." Every soul stops. Every voice quiets. Every heart begins to tremble with excitement and awe. The believers leave their palaces, their gardens, their families, and gather in an open valley made of light. There are no walls, no barriers, no shadows, just a glowing field filled with the finest seats, arranged for an audience that will be remembered for eternity. The angels stand in rows like shining mountains. The believers sit with hearts pounding like drums of joy. And then the light appears, a light unlike any seen before, brighter than 1,000 suns, yet gentle enough to calm every soul. The entire valley glows. The trees sway. The rivers sparkle. The very air vibrates with divine beauty. And then Allah speaks, not through an angel, not through revelation, not through signs, but directly to the believers. The sound of his voice fills the heavens and earth, a voice that melts every fear, every wound, every sadness they ever carried. "O my servants, are you pleased?" The believers cry out together, "Our Lord, how can we not be pleased when you saved us from fire and honored us with paradise?" Then Allah says words that make the souls burst with joy. Shall I give you something even greater? The believers, overwhelmed, say, what could be greater than this? Our Lord. And then comes the gift that no eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard, no heart has ever imagined. Allah removes the veil, and the believers see Him. The greatest reward, the ultimate joy, the peak of eternity, seeing Allah. The Prophet said that this moment will be so powerful, so beautiful, so overwhelming, that the people of Jannah will forget every other blessing, forget the palaces, forget the gardens, forget the rivers, forget the endless treasures, because nothing compares to looking at the Lord who created them, forgave them, guided them, and welcomed them into everlasting peace. The believers gaze at Him for as long as Allah wills. Their hearts shine brighter than any star. Their faces glow with a light that never fades again. And when they return to their homes in paradise, they return with a joy that will never decrease, a peace that will never be disturbed, a life that will never end. Eternity has begun. Mercy has triumphed. The promise of Allah is complete. This is the final destination. This is the Day of Judgment's last chapter. This is forever.